I just wanted to open up the back door. Pause, big pause on that one. What is going on, guys? It is shoot week. We got some ads that we are going to be shooting on behalf of our fitness app client this week. So I just wanted to open up the back door. Pause, big pause on that one. I wanted to give you a sneak peek behind the ads or behind the curtain to help guide you and also create a bit of a framework so that you can institute this the next time you create ads. I have a close friend of mine, he's a mentor, runs a large media and entertainment agency up in LA, and I'll never forget a piece of advice that he gave me. Let's call him E, and I went up to E right before a major shoot that we had. Many people relying on this production shoot and the footage that was going to come from it. It was one of my first ever shoots that I was doing, and I called up E and I said,
"Hey man, I ain't gonna lie bro, I'm a little bit anxious."
Very anxious, in fact. There's a lot of people relying on this footage. I'm a bit nervous that I might screw it up.
Got any advice for me?
And I'll never forget what he said. He said, Rez, he said, oftentimes the reason why people are anxious / nervous, it's due to lack of planning. He said, my advice is plan every single variable before you walk onto set. So that way you take the guesswork out of it and you just get on with it. And that is something that I have done with almost everything, especially things that make me feel a little bit uneasy. So if you've got a production shoot coming up, I would highly recommend that you do all of the pre-work. So that way, when you go onto set, it runs as smooth as ever. Granted, it's never as smooth as ever because there's always something that goes off, whether it be the subject or the talent. Maybe they might get a bit of stage fright, maybe the weather doesn't cooperate. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but all we can do is control what is in our hands, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. So, real life example, fitness app. We're shooting ads for them next week. It's for a Labor Day yoga challenge for desk-bound millennials and burnt-out mums. And I want to walk you through exactly how we went through it step by step, okay?
Let's go!
So the very, very first thing that we do is market research, okay? We want to see what is actually working well in the market. Right, let's look at influencers and people who are creating content already. For us, it was a couple of people. Yoga with Adrian was a huge source of inspiration.
Shout out Yoga with Adrian!
She's been killing it. She gets loads of engagement. Great source of inspiration. A second one that we looked at was Underbelly Yoga.
Shout out Underbelly Yoga!
It's great content. It's very aligned with our client's theme of everybody is a sports star, aka everybody, body, physical, can do any modality, and Underbelly Yoga does a phenomenal job at showing how plus size women can partake in yoga. So that was a huge source of inspiration, but again, number one, we just want to see what's out on the market for our team. Very simple, just create a spreadsheet. Everybody browses around, sees what stands out, and then logs it into a spreadsheet with the link. Very easy, okay? That would be step number one. Now, once you've got your market research down, then you want to kind of disseminate through that, pick out trends, and then what we do is we create a creative strategy deck overview. And in that, we would include a variety of different things based off of the research that we've done. So that would include media formats. Okay, for us, it was real people in motion is what we call it. And what we wanted from our ads, or what we deemed to be appropriate, was 70% of the ads that we shoot are going to be real people in motion, aka actually doing some sort of yoga pose. And then the remaining 30% could be static ads, could be infographics, so on and so forth. You always want to have some sort of a mix. It's not going to be 70-30 for every industry. Would really encourage you all to check what types of things are performing in your respective business industries, and then kind of imitate that.
You do not need to go against the grain.
Okay? Yes, creativity is important. Creativity can be infused within the ad types that are already working well in the market. A lot of people think that you need to just create these wacky, outlandish ads, and you really don't, man. You just need to see what people are gravitating to in real life based on your market research, and then kind of mold that to your own liking. Don't go too far away from the grain though. Also, very important, everything that I'm talking about here assumes that you've already done the work as it relates to identifying your buyer persona, as it relates to identifying searcher intent, their pain points. If you haven't done any of that, I would suggest that you watch one of our other videos first. And then after you've got your personas and your pain points down, then you go into all of this stuff, okay? So let's say we got the media formats down. Pikachu's going ballistic over there. I apologize in advance. And then we're going to move on to messaging and visuals. Okay, what are we actually going to be speaking about? Now, we actually also do a lot of organic content research to identify monthly search volumes of important keywords that kind of insinuate that users are actually searching for this information. Based off of that, we then kind of create our own messaging that we would like to kind of accompany our ads. And then once we've got that, all of that down, we would then move on to cam setup, lighting, trends, inspiration, such as underbelly yoga, yoga with Cassandra was another one, yoga with Adrian. All of these individuals kind of inspired us, all of these channels and handles, I should say, inspired us to kind of create our own creative strategy overview. Once we have got our inspo down, then finally we can move on to defining what the ad structure is going to look like. When is the hook going to be present? Obviously, we should all know by now, hooks should be there in the first 3 seconds. We like to double stack our hooks. I'll talk about that a little bit as we get into the next step of our process. But the creative strategy overview deck is not specifically customized to your brand. It's more customized towards the market research that you have done. You disseminate that information, and then you create guidelines for the broader production team along with the marketing team so that they understand exactly what we are planning to do when it comes to live production. Cool? Cool. Now, number 3 is going to be, let's assume we've now done the market research. We've got this creative strategy overview. Now we are going to go into popping open a new Excel spreadsheet. That's how we like to do it. You're going to grid everything out from the ad concept, the hooks, any A/B test that you're doing, the visuals, any props, wardrobe. You're going to basically column out each of these things on your spreadsheet. That will ensure that you check off every box. It's also going to ensure whoever is shooting the ads or directing the ads, which in this case is me, I'm the director. So I'm there to kind of guide our production team on how exactly they should be shooting, what angles they want. I'm also guiding the talent on exactly what facial reactions, movements, so on and so forth. This is why it's essential to kind of grid it all out so that way everybody is clear what is happening before it happens. Again, going back to E's point, remove the guesswork out of everything. With the first step on this grid is going to be the hooks and the A/B tests. Okay, we want to make sure that we've got compelling hooks. One of the things that we like to do is stack hooks so that you have a verbal hook which is accompanied by a visual hook as well. This will get the reader to stop. Maybe not everybody's listening, but everybody's definitely watching. The question is how quickly can you get them to scroll stop, right? The more that you double stack the hooks, the more likely it is for you to get that scroll stop that you are looking for. Cool? Cool. Now, A/B test. I've spoken about this a lot in some of the previous episodes that we've done. With A/B tests, it's very important that we are testing properly and that we are only testing one variable at a time. Most people get A/B testing wrong because they test way too many variables and then we're left with a nullified experiment. And what the heck is the point of an A/B test if you're testing 5 to 7 different things and then your results remain inconclusive by the end of it? Right? There's no point. So things that we like to A/B test is our voiceovers, animations versus no animations, human voice versus voiceover in the back, graphics versus no graphics, CTAs, right? These are the things that we are often testing as it relates to our production things. A lot of these things are not always done. In fact, most of these things are not even done on set live. A lot of these things are done in post-production, aka in the editing process. This is where we'll have our amazing designers and creative director, namely Lauren and Amelia, who will then take the footage and then they will work on it and incorporate their amazing motion graphics and CTAs and things of that nature. But it is important that we are mindful of what the final ad is going to look like, because if we don't know what the final ad is going to look like, aka what goes out on Meta or YouTube or wherever, then of course we're going to shoot, and then at the end of it we may have missed something and then we're kind of screwed. Right? So make sure that you got everything gridded out in that way. Okay, so once you've got the hooks and the A/B test down, then we're going into visuals. Okay, this is where we're literally pinpointing exactly what the talent is going to be doing live on set. And then in that would also include any animations and things like that that would be included in post-production, because if you don't include the animations in your visuals, what's going to happen? You may maybe the shooters, aka the cameramen on site, they might shoot in a way where it's, let's say, zoomed into the subject's face. Now you don't, if the plan was to add text overlay, you can't do that anymore unless you got text going above their eyes like a cyclops, right? So this is why it's important to understand what text overlays are we including. Everything should be mapped out before it goes out.
I'm going to keep repeating that until it gets ingrained into your brain.
Okay, so once we've got the visuals down, then we can move on to props, wardrobe, and so on and so forth. So that is the fourth thing, which is essentially beefing out the shot list. Generally, we like to have two different types of shot lists. One is more marketing ready, let's call it, less technical terms, more just kind of what are we doing and what is the flow of the shoot going to look like. And then we have a second variation, which is more of a production ready shot list. And this is for the shooters on site, Corb and Locke. Those are their names. So Corb and Locke would create their own production ready shot list, and that would be very much accustomed towards production. So you would use technical terms that they would be more familiar with, because what you're going to find oftentimes is that marketing and production speak two different languages. Okay, so it's important that that part, aka the marketing part, is clear, and also the production part is clear, because you're ultimately going to need to bridge the gap at the end. Cool? Cool. So once we have got the shot list down, then we do what is the most, it's really annoying, honestly. I hate to lead in with that, but it is time consuming. Nonetheless, number 5 is that we need to do test shots. Test shots of all of the things that are on our grid. Actually, it was our creative production lead, Corb, who suggested that we do this way back when we did our first shoot, and ever since we've been doing it all the time. And just recently, as we were doing our test shots, I actually asked him, I was like, hey, cool, I said, is this common to do test shots like the way that we're doing it? He said, Brez, probably not, man. If I'm honest, he said, I just like to know what exactly I'm going to be shooting before I shoot it, including all of the poses and the angles that we're going to be doing. Including all of the lighting that we're going to be putting up, and so on and so forth. Most people don't do test shots because it is burdensome and it is really annoying. But if you do the test shots, your production and your shoot is going to run so much more effortlessly. I cannot explain. I cannot emphasize that enough. Please do test shots. Please make your lead cameraman or lead videographer, whomever is shooting that, make them do it. even if they don't want to do it, I promise you it's going to pay dividends when it comes down to doing it live on set. And it's going to just make everything run so much more effortlessly. So those are your 5 things. So running through them from the top, number 1, we got market research. Number 2, we've got our creative strategy deck. Number 3, we've got our hooks and our A/B tests. Number 4, we've got the remainder of our shot list. And then lastly, we've got our test shots. So that, my friends, is a full production rundown. Save this framework. Drop me a comment below with any issues that you've experienced as it relates to shooting ads, and I'll do another one of these videos. But now, I'm Reza Rezvi. This is episode 13. Pikachu's over there having a nap. But for now, peace!